Well, we made it. The last episode of Secret Invasion is finally behind us. Was it a fitting end to the show? And if so, what does that even mean? Which of my predictions came true, and is this a good thing or a bad thing? Hi there, it's Micha, and if you are here already, then join me for one last review about this TV show. The finale starts with Fury shooting his way into the compound, stumbling over the killed mutineers before finding Gravik in the lab, leading into a long rant about Fury not keeping his promise and that now the whole of humanity has to pay for it.
First, I'm gonna kill you. And then, I'm gonna take a flamethrower to humanity!
Meanwhile, fake Rhodey talks the president into bombing the Skrulls in Russia, and is then called by Sonya Falsworth, telling him that Fury is on his way to stop them, creating enough chaos in the hospital for her to take out most Secret Service agents and holding Rhodey at gunpoint. She tells the president that Rhodey is a Skrull, but POTUS, armed himself, can't decide whom to believe. Back in the compound, Fury is coughing violently due to radiation poisoning. With his time apparently running out, he hands Gravik the DNA samples in exchange for him leaving Earth alone. With Fury also inside, the villain switches on the machine. Using his new powers, he tries to kill Fury just to learn that it was Gaia all along, posing as Fury while the real one enters the hospital and kills Rhodes, revealing him or her to be a Skrull in disguise. Oh, and also the superpowered Skrulls duke it out, with Gaia ultimately killing Gravik. After freeing all kidnapped humans, the president declares war on every alien secretly living on Earth.
That is why tonight I'm presenting to Congress for immediate emergency authorization a bill that designates all off-world-born species enemy combatants,
resulting in vigilante violence costing the lives of many innocent humans and Skrulls. Fury then leaves Earth again, this time with his wife, to broker peace between the Kree and the Skrulls, while Falsworth and Gaia join forces. The end. As I did a prediction video a few days ago, let's start by checking in on how close I came or how far off I was. After killing some of his own, Gravik will likely be on his own for the end fight, or have a few Skrulls still loyal, for whatever reasons, joining him. If so, they will be superpowered as well. The first one I got right, he stood alone, everyone else left. The person Fury called at the end of episode 5 will likely straightforward be Gaia, facing Gravik alongside Fury, his wife and Agent Falsworth. Half right here, as it was Gaia he called, but she actually faced Gravik alone. So much for Fury saying, "I have to do it all alone" a million times, and then he didn't even go there. The last stand will take place in the Skrulls compound, mainly ignoring the fact that the radiation there is deadly for humans, being explained away by just taking a pill, like Gravik joked during their phone call. Right about the place and the radiation issue as well, even if just as a distraction, where even the pills were brought up. Maybe that will then result in some long-term issues, like Fury getting sick from radiation poisoning as a result, potentially killing him slowly in one of the next movies, though this hopefully will not come true. Well, he pulled out of the whole fight with Gravik, so I was wrong here. At least my fear that they will kill him off in this finale is gone, due to him being featured prominently in the trailers for the Marvels. This one was correct, but also not much of a prediction anyway. Maybe some of the other Skrulls in the compound will stand with Fury, turning the tide at the last moment. No, all gone. No doubt the face-changing device that they introduced for no reason at the end of chapter 5 will play a large role, like a Deus Ex Machina device. Likely Fury and Gaia will change places this way, and when Gravik thought he stabbed Fury, it turns out that it is her healing herself, while Fury, masked as Gaia, will kill the villain close up. No, they didn't use the device, which makes bringing it up in episode 5 even dumber. But the switcheroo was correct, even if Fury wasn't there to strike down the villain. The president will have heard Fury's whispers in his ears and just plays along, knowing that Rhodey is a Skrull and all is fine on the global arena. Again, no, because the president really was as dumb in this show as we were led to believe. the real Rhodey, needed for his own movie Armor Wars soon, will be rescued from the Skrulls' prison cellar along with everyone else down there. Correct, but also quite obvious. As Olivia Colman's Falsworth character has proven more effective than Fury as of late, I assume she will take over his duties going forward, allowing him to retire with his wife, with his adventure in the Marvels making it a semi-retirement, as he will still keep busy. Half correct again. Coleman took over Fury's place within the Skrull community, but Fury just returned to where he came from. But took his wife with him, so correct at that front. If they are clever, they will bring in one of the 3 main characters from the Marvels to make the show lead into that movie. If they do not do that, it is just another wasted opportunity in an ocean of missed chances. Of course I remained right here, because why would they connect the show to their direct follow-up? So many wasted opportunities, it really hurts my head. Most other storylines like the Avenger DNA and the video of fake Fury killing Maria will probably have next to no impact and will lead nowhere fast. Wrong about the DNA, spot on regarding the other one though. It also wouldn't surprise me if the finale is another short entry, maybe even shorter than the 2 previous episodes. Correct, with 36 minutes it was the shortest episode of them all, thank God. Okay now. Let's have a look at what else is worth mentioning, which unfortunately is a lot. Why did Gravik use the machine with Fury in there as well? Was he so sure the process wouldn't work on a human? Still, shouldn't have risked it. Or should have checked if it really is Fury, because for a show that deals with shapeshifters, no one really seems to ever expect one. Why was Gravik so easy to kill, even though he has more powers now and had just a slightly larger hole in him than Gaia had when she was shot? So, is he really dead? Because Gaia never really checked, even though she really should know better. How could Gaia know so much about Fury's personal life, his feelings and so on, and his relationship to Gravik? In retrospect, that felt like way too much details to be believable.
The last thing I felt before I flaked off.
What's that?
Relief that I didn't have to fight anymore.
And Gravik's explanation that killing slightly flawed humans ate away on him, leading to him now wanting to kill them all, was just plain stupid. And they still have not explained why Fury and Danvers never managed to find them a new home. With so many planets Captain Marvel will likely have visited, did she really never come across a suitable one? I feel like this show should at least give some kind of explanation, not just a throwaway line delivered by Gaia while posing as Fury.
I knew within a few years of searching that there was no other planet out there for you.
Oh yes, there are really short on explanations in this one, like why was Falsworth accompanying Fury to Finland to pick up the DNA sample? Did he just need a ride? Next they both were back in England. They could just have met there. Why did Sonja not just wound fake Rhodes as she did with her superior in episode 5? Did she forget? She could have told the president that she will hurt him so he wouldn't shoot her, if that was her fear. She didn't even try to explain because they were waiting for Fury to save the day, just as scripted. Sorry for repeating myself, but for a show that made it all about Fury wanting to fight the fight alone, needing no help from other superheroes, even doubling down on it at the end of the previous chapter, it was such a laughable cop-out that he didn't even show up for the final fight. Speaking of which, for a show that wanted to make us believe the world is at stake, never felt those stakes lower. There was not 1 second, apart from the bombing in episode 1, where we felt any real threat. And the showdown was so, well, unengaging. It was more funny and cringeworthy than anything else, borderline boring and stupid. And here I am doubling down on what I said last time. Whoever created this mess seems to think on the same intellectual level as a 3rd grader, and that may still be an insult to a 3rd grader. It was already a stretch to believe they can create a machine changing your DNA on demand, giving you the wanted traits, which is to this day not really possible. But they do it with a device that projects light or radiation to do so? Also, Fury has all the collected DNA in the same vial? Who would do that? What were they thinking? And that was just the beginning of the stupidity. How do you get DNA from a silicon-based being like Korg? Which they also used here, I mean, I don't know if you can draw DNA from a stone, but at least I'm thinking about it. Which is more than I can say about whoever put that into the script. Then, after entering the DNA into the machine, it was showing us the individuals from which the samples were taken. Clearly to our benefit, so we know what is in there, but to recognize the DNA, the system must have already known it to match it. Meaning they must have had a sample before, rendering the whole plot obsolete. Also, Captain Marvel received her powers through the Infinity Stone, so it wasn't even genetics, yet they still could use her abilities in the end fight. And while all other heroes struggled to control their powers, here they could immediately utilize everything they wanted at will, without even knowing the DNA donor, like Gaia using Mantis's abilities to put someone to sleep. Even worse, it kind of destroyed the whole concept of superheroes for me. Because according to this show, you can now just replicate everything just via a DNA sample. No superhero is truly special, not even a god like Thor, who was also in the mix, because being a god apparently is also just genetics now. Considering that the multiverse already lowered the stakes, where you could now bring back every character just from a slightly different world or timeline, like Loki, now even their powers are not relevant anymore. However, like this show, I'm pretty sure no one will remember either the machine nor the DNA process going forward, where it likely will never be mentioned again. Which would be for Marvel's own good, as they are recently on a path to unravel their own success story. Most of the recent TV shows underwhelmed. None of them was really great. Even WandaVision disappointed in the end. Same at the movies. Still mostly fine, but nothing really great, aside from the third part of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was a parting gift from James Gunn, who is now running DC's engine. Maybe this slowly marks a shift. Is Marvel's reign over, and DC will rule going forward? If this show is the new standard, then Marvel would be doomed. So let's hope they will find their footing again. And with that being said, let's go to the rating, but before we go there, let me ask you to like and share this video if you enjoyed it so far. And if you're not a subscriber yet, maybe consider to change that. By also hitting the notification bell, you will get a heads up for most of my new videos. Now for the rating. Honestly, I planned to make this a shorter review, but it became the longest of the bunch, and I didn't even mention all the inconsistencies. Fortunately, the show is now over and the last chapter was again a short affair. They did correct some issues they had last week, like now the blood on the wall of Priscilla's home was purple, while in the previous chapter it clearly was red. I still smell rewrites as the main culprit for this whole mess of a show, but the reasons don't really matter, only the result. I really wanted to see the good in it and at least rate the finale with 4 or 5 out of 10 points. But the fact that the showdown left me completely cold and uninvolved, and there were no perceptible stakes, won't allow that. Especially since Fury ended up not really doing anything noteworthy. Farnsworth could have also done it without him. I'm rating this one with 3 out of 10 points, with an actual tendency downwards, as if it wasn't a Marvel show and may have some kind of relevance in the future, I would call it a waste of time. As for the whole show, which started with at least the hope of solid entertainment, it degraded fast, and the bitterest thing for me is still the predictable death of Maria Hill by not putting Kobe Smolder's name into the title credits. Which is now feeling even worse, considering that Richard Dormer was listed there, even though he also only appeared in the pilot and died before the titles even rolled. Overall, killing off so many characters for no good reason and with little effect on the plot felt wrong, and just adds to all the wasted opportunities the show had to offer, which just is such a shame. The entire season I'm rating with 4 out of 10 points, if you are a Marvel completist. Everyone else just might skip this one. And, like I said before, I'm happy that it is over now. What about you? Did you feel the stakes differently, or were you also mainly bored during the finale? Was the show kind of okay for you, or also a big disappointment? Or did you like it? If so, what did it for you? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching. How could Gaia know so much about As for the whole show, which started with at least the hope of solid entertainment, it degraded creating enough chaos in the hospital.